You are listening to Salty's Fight Talk, hosted by the big, sexy, stay frosty fight fans.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the McBastard Studio. Today we're really excited to talk to a young amateur MMA fighter, and she's amazing. But to get some things out of the way, so you are listening to Salty's Fight Talk today. I am not the big sexy. So kudos to the big sexy and his wife. They had a newborn baby girl, so he is out today, so I'm filling in for the big sexy. But you're listening to Brad Banyas, and we're listening on Salty's Fight Talk. And today we're really excited to talk to Sydney High, who is just an amazing person, got a great story, and let's hear it. Sydney, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I was really excited to talk to you. I've kind of been reading up on your journey and kind of your transformation into this whole kind of martial arts space, and I think you just have an awesome story to tell everyone. So I'm excited.
Thank you. I'm excited to share it. I think it's definitely maybe not the most traditional story on how I got into martial arts, but I'm excited to share it.
Yeah, well, that's great. So I looked a little bit back. So you kind of grew up, you said you weren't really into sports really heavily, but then you kind of moved and did some wrestling and some other things. So why did you, I mean, obviously you like being in shape and working out, but
Yeah.
so why why the choice into martial arts? Like why?
So I actually was heavily into sports. So I've always been an athlete and an athletic kid. Like I did gymnastics when I was really little, and I did soccer for about 12 years.
Wow, okay.
So the switch came about my junior year of high school. I kind of just got tired of soccer. I mean, I loved the game, but I just didn't really like the people involved and stuff. And so I kind of we always grew up watching the UFC, and my dad, as a drill sergeant in the army, he'd come home from work and he would just teach my little brother and I like an arm bar and like a rear choke. And so I was always kind of around combat sports and
Yeah.
like heard about it, but I didn't think that that was something that I could do. But then I found out that our high school had a girls wrestling team, and I looked at my mom in my junior year and I was like, "Hey mom, can I join the wrestling team?" She was like, "Okay, let's get you private lessons. Let's get you going." And I was like, "Okay." My dad thought I was crazy. He was
Yeah.
like, "Sydney, you've been doing soccer for 12 years. Why do you want to do wrestling all of a sudden?"
Yeah.
Um, and I started doing wrestling. I ended up making the varsity team. I just trained a lot to try to catch up with my teammates. And then my stepdad was like, "Well, now that you're doing wrestling, I kind of want you to be able to defend yourself." And so he got me introduced into jiu-jitsu at 10th Planet San Antonio. And then he also, at our in our garage, he started teaching me how to kickbox and just do some really basic pad work. And I became obsessed with it after
Yeah.
that.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, that's kind of like how I got into it. And I mean, it's definitely very different, but I wouldn't change it because I mean, the people around me were like, "Okay, go at it."
Yeah. Yeah, well, you've had some, pretty good athletes in the MMA space kind of helping you too as well. So who's your first of all, like striking or grappling? What's your favorite?
My personal favorite is striking. It's not so morbid. I like hitting things.
Yeah.
A lot more fun, and not only that, but I feel the most creative with striking. Um, and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's just comes really natural to me. I do enjoy grappling, and it is a very big part of MMA. And I make sure that I have that side of it always. But my goal is I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I was never a great wrestler. I always like the punching side, striking side more, but I always ask the MMA fighters like pure grappling, jiu-jitsu or, brawl it out. So the jiu-jitsu guys get you on the ground and ladies get you on the ground though. If you really don't know what you're doing or haven't been trained, you're going to get choked out. So
For sure. And that's definitely why I try to make sure that I have a hand in every little aspect of MMA. Because again, it's all of it. So you better know all of it.
yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna- that's that I was going to say. So like when you're training regimen, I mean, you try to break it up equally in training, or spend more what you're better on, more time on, striking or whatever. Is there some kind of cadence that you kind of cross over the disciplines?
Yes. So I work privately with Charles Bird on my striking specifically. And every now and then, like, we'll sprinkle in some like on top groundwork just to kind of like tie in what he's been teaching me specifically. But overall, throughout my week to week schedule, I mostly focus on my grappling because that for me is something that I need to work a little bit more heavily on just because it doesn't make as much sense to me as striking does. And so I
Right.
realize that that's my whole, and so I have to go in and I have to really hammer on the things that I may not be the best at. I don't suck at it, but I got to make
Yeah.
sure, I have that side of me taken care of. So say I do fight someone who's mostly a grappler, I can deal with it and I can
Yeah.
put you where I want you in my game.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah, control it. I love it. I love it. So who's your favorite, just curious, like who's your favorite MMA fighter that you look up to today, or kind of would have maybe a similar fighting style? Is there someone out there that you're kind of trying to model your fighting style after, or you're just you, and that's okay.
As far as, like, my style goes, I definitely think that, I've kind of developed my own way of fighting, and I really try to stay true to myself. But as far as, like, who I look up to, my first, like, real idol was, and still is, Valentina Shevchenko. I think that overall, she very much models like a very good, classy, professional fighter. I think she's very well rounded. She's very intelligent, and she's very, very dominant in a fight. And then, when I moved over to Fortis, of course, I have my two role models, and they're like my big sisters now, but
Yeah.
Macy Chasson and Sam Hughes. So those are always going to be my two favorites that I'll be rooting for. But before I got to Fortis, Valentina was definitely my favorite fighter. Still is my favorite fighter, but my sisters are definitely like I want to be like them when I eventually get to the UFC.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, like, I mean, for them to actually train with you and help you is pretty amazing, and they must see some real talent in you. And I kind of watched your fight from the clips, so you're pretty good. So I'm very excited for you. So you kind of have a story, like, though you kind of didn't want to go to college, you wanted to pursue this, and move to Dallas, I believe is where you moved to, correct?
Yes,
And
sir.
so, like, so what was that decision like? Because a lot of people, when you're young, 17, 18, and everyone wants you to go do a specific thing, or go get a job doing this, or go to college and be this. So what was that like for you to make that decision?
It was definitely terrifying because I had actually just started, like, community college, and I was already I had just gotten through, like, I think, like, the first semester of, online college, and I hated it. There was nothing about it that I enjoyed. I've always been an athlete, and it's always been something that I've been good at. I mean, even if I wasn't good at something, I could make myself good at it because I knew that all you had to do was just work hard, pay attention, and dedicate your time to it, and you'll eventually get there. I mean, hard work beats talent any day. So I was like, well, I can do this if I put my mind to it. And then I was training, I was hitting pads with my stepdad, I was doing jujitsu, and this was after I graduated. So I wasn't really wrestling, but I'd go to my club wrestling practices still. And my parents approached me and they're like, "Hey, Sid, do you want to do this full time? I mean, this is something that you're really passionate about." And we all think because of what I did in my soccer career. I mean, I was trying to go to college for it. I just didn't end up getting a scholarship, so my parents couldn't afford to me taking me to university. Um, and I was like, I actually really would like to pursue this full time. I mean, again, I was obsessed with it. That's all I wanted to
Yeah.
do was go train. I would go to work, I would train, and then I'd go and do my schoolwork. And my parents were like, "Okay, well, you need to make a decision. Either you're gonna do college or you're gonna do training because the training requires you to give every single ounce of your time to it. You cannot
Right.
skimp out on it." And they pretty much said you either shit or get off the pot, pretty much. And so I decided that I wanted to pursue it full time. And again, it was a very scary decision because I think I had just turned 18 or I was about to turn 19. And so my stepdad had hit up a friend, his friend in the military, and who knew Safe personally. And pretty much through a family favor, I got to talk to Safe. He got to talk to my dad. And I said, I'm 18. I want to pursue this full time. And I plan to move by myself to Dallas to come train full time. And of course, he said, I'll take care of you, but I can't promise anything. You have to put in the time and you have to do it yourself, but I'll
Right.
allow you to gym. And so we had that plan in motion. I got online on Indeed and I set up a job for myself before I got there. I ended up finding an apartment about 10 minutes from the gym. And then that whole summer before I moved, I worked like 15 to 16-hour days to save up 10 grand so I could move by myself. And then at the end of the summer, I packed up all my stuff and then my parents dropped me off and I was like, okay, we're leaving. This
Yeah.
is real now. Okay, cool. And we just went. It was a very scary decision, but I would not trade that decision for anything. I
Right.
think that was like my test and like my leap to get
Yeah.
into this. And it's definitely been a lot of hard work and grinding and just, the many sacrifices that I've made to get to the point where I am now. And I'm just starting.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like that's what it takes to do something different and to achieve a goal that not many people are willing to strive for. Because
Right.
again, there's no path for this. No one
Yeah.
tells you, hey, this is step A, this is step B,
Yeah.
this is step C. It's kind of like, all
Yeah.
right, go swim or sink. We're gonna
Yeah.
figure it out.
Unfortunately, that's every career, regards outside of something athletic or fighting and business. I think you have to differentiate yourself, like you said, the discipline, the passion, the want to do it, and realize that not all days are good days.
Yeah.
Not all weeks are good weeks, and
No.
sometimes not all years are good years. So hopefully, no one has to go through years and years of shitty times, but it's the reality of it. So, I mean, I think your mindset, as you know, and mindset in fighting matters, mindset in business matters, mindset in soccer matters. Whatever it is, mindset matters, and I'm very I'm proud of you because of your mindset, because I think that's the key differentiator. If somebody's going to be a champion or great at something, they better have that mindset.
100%. And our coach preaches it daily. He's like, you can train as much as you want. You can be very skilled, but if your mind isn't where it needs to be, you're going to break immediately. The cage does not lie. You're either prepared or you're not, or you're mentally there and ready to fight, or you're not. And you'll figure it out real quick.
Yeah, I love Mike Tyson's. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. So
Yeah.
all the great plans and strategy and hitting bags and doing all that stuff goes out the window when someone clocks you. But so what kind of preparation, like, are you I guess what's the word I'm trying to think of? Are you superstitious, like, before you like get into a ring or something? Like, do you do like the same thing over and over again, or habits over and over again, or are you not that kind of person?
I wouldn't say yet. I can't tell you yes or no because that was my first MMA fight. I've had other competitions before. The one thing that I have to make sure of before I get there is like, after the weight cut, I just make sure that my stomach is fully settled because cutting weight is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah,
It does mess with you. But like as long as I'm calm and I have music, like my thing, I love to dance and I love to just like kind of just get in the groove of things. If I'm dancing and I'm calm, oh, we're good.
yeah,
But if you see me like trying to hype myself up or
no.
like I look too serious, then we have a problem. But if I'm like cool as a cucumber dancing to my
uh,
music, we're good.
that's awesome. Do you have do you have a favorite, like, what's your you have your own walkout song now that you're gonna stick with, or you kind of switch it up based on how you feel?
I think I'm probably gonna switch it up based on how I feel, but I definitely do like the higher like RPM music. but I'm more of like a funk and like EDM type person just
Yeah.
because I like the beats and it's fun to dance to. My first walkout song, which was the one that I just did, was from K-pop Demon Hunters. Their music
Yeah.
is like at the top of my list right now. But my friend, she's a dancer and she's helping me choreograph like a little tiny like walkout dance for me.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that part of our fight is like a little mini performance. And, I very much am trying to be a performer. I mean, not only like, because again, like, we have our job in the cage and that part I love, but I
Right.
also like doing the crowd work because, again, people are coming to watch a show. So it's like, why not take the opportunity to A, get to share the music that I love, have fun, but then I'm also getting people to want to watch me.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, personality. I mean, I think everybody talks about Conor McGregor and whatever, but I think it's his personality, as wild as it is, or as crazy as the stuff he does. I mean, it's entertaining, right?
Yes.
I mean, he was a good fighter, but like, you're just like, what is this guy going to do next? Kind of a deal, right? And I think we just went to a local concert up here, local, and in Atlanta, and the guy Will Mosley's a country singer, up and coming country singer. But I noticed, like, with the crowd, he was so personable with the crowd, and wasn't like traditional, like everyone's just kind of, he's like, y'all get up and come up close and dance if you want, sing along. And at the end, I watched the guy wait and sign probably 200, 250, like, you know autographs.
Yeah.
And you're like, no matter what, whether he's a great country singer, which he is anyways, but you kind of like, you see the person, you're like, yeah, like I can get behind this guy regardless of whether they're fighting or they're a famous MMA person or a famous whatever. The personality of how you are and interact with people, I think, might determine more your success in life than how good a fighter or musician or whatever you are.
I 100% agree, and I feel like a lot of people, they don't see that aspect of it because at the end of the day, like, yes, we're fighters and we're athletes, and it's a tremendous feat, but there's so many of us now. So, like, what sets you apart from everyone else? And for me, I greatly understand the aspect of you're an entertainer as well as you need to be personable, you need to interact with your fan base, you need to get people behind you who want to watch you. At the end of the day, like, if you make a personal connection with these people, hey, they care about you now.
Right.
They're like, I want to see Sid fight. I mean, whether she wins or loses, I had an interaction with her and I felt close to her and I feel like I know her.
Yeah.
And those are the people that are going to follow you from the beginning all the way until the end of your career. It's not going to be the people that are like, oh, I saw her highlight clip. That was nice. And then they
Yeah.
move to the next person. They'll never remember you. You
Yeah.
have,
Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to be successful. That's very important, because the reality of it is, I always, the bad thing in life is some people think records are everything, and you can have a very good any kind of athlete. It doesn't have to be MMA, but the whole win-loss thing, and we got involved, to share with you, we got involved in this bare knuckle stuff,
yeah.
where we started, and I'd never seen bare knuckle, and we kind of fell in love with it. And what they said is like, hey, look, like, it's rare that someone's going to be undefeated in this sport. So if you're gauging whether they're good or not because they lost 3 fights or whatever, he's like, it's just like, you can't do that. And I kind of like that about it, because it isn't all about who's been undefeated. You're gonna get knocked out. So
Yeah. Another
it's
reason I will not touch bare knuckle boxing, 10-foot pole.
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
You'd have to offer me, like, guaranteed a couple mil for me to
yeah.
get do bare knuckle boxing. There is no longevity in that sport.
No, it's tough. So
I
but it was
respect them. I'm like, "You do it, because 'cause I'm
yeah.
not."
Yeah, it's any high-end sport, like what you're doing with jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, whatever it may be. It's so funny, the difference between what a professional is thinking about. Like, you're both equally good. You both equally know what you're doing. It's almost like chess, that you just kind of, you're looking, okay, I'm going to go out. If they do this, I'm going to do this. If they do this, I'm going to do this. And people who are amateurs are like, don't really understand, don't realize, oh, they're waiting. Like, they're,
Yeah.
they're intentionally not they're intentionally doing these moves, and they're going to get them in about 30 seconds, and it's hard for people to comprehend that.
I mean, again, I'm very, very blessed to be training where I'm training at, people that I'm training at, that I've gotten to see that example at such a young age and be able to grow up in that. So, like, I was hanging out with Sam the other day, and I was telling her, I was like, "I'm just so glad that I got to watch you, because like, now I knew what to expect." I mean, like, down to the weigh-ins, the face-off, like, how I should act, like, when I'm being interviewed, like, what I should wear, all of those little tiny details that
Yeah,
people don't think about, those things do matter, because
yeah,
I they're watching you from point A to point B, and then once you get in the cage, it's like, okay, now all of those hours that I've spent sparring with them
yeah,
matter, because now I'm not thinking. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, and I'm talking to myself in the ring. I'm going, okay, she did this, whatever. I just have to adjust, and I'm gonna go off and do the next thing. But it's not detailed thinking. It's more
yeah,
just reaction of, okay,
yeah,
I or do this next, and then, okay, what are my coaches saying? Because my coach and I, we had, I think 4 or 5 keywords for specific things in the fight based on our game plan, and I was listening for those keywords, and those keywords helped so much, because, again, he's seeing an outside perspective that
yeah.
I see what I see, but if he sees something that I can't, then I'm just gonna react based on what he's telling me, and
That's a
again, and that's like, again, I am working with professionals.
yeah,
I probably would not have that if I was training anywhere else, and I'm
yeah.
so, so blessed.
That's a good coach will make you or break you. So sounds like you have really good coaches. That's amazing. Well,
Very
like
blessed.
what would you want to tell the world about you right now? I know you're getting into you're going to get into obviously sponsorships for what you're doing to
Yeah.
support kind of what you're doing. What's coming up for you, and what really will help you get to the next level. Like if you're talking to the world, like, hey, these are the things I have to do. These are the things I need to do. These are the things I'm looking at from people to support me.
For sure. I guess my message to the world is, as far on the standpoint of what I have planned next, we're trying to get another fight, hopefully in November. We kind of want to keep the momentum going and just kind of get, more fights as well as more exposure. As far as what people can do to support me, obviously, please keep watching my fights. Please keep watching my Instagram stories, interacting. And then as well as other businesses who'd be interested in helping me along on my journey, very much, the more support as far as, like, helping with gym memberships or gear or supplements or food, all of those little things, and someone else taking care of those things for me helps me put more time in the gym. If this year,
Awesome.
I mean, even just before the end of this year and what I have planned for this year, I'm gonna be upping up my strength and conditioning with, my teammate Sam's, partner. He's gonna be heading that. Sam's gonna be heading my nutrition, so every little micro detail of what I'm watched over,
Right.
getting more private sessions with my coach, and I'm gonna be in that gym as much as I physically possibly can. But at the end of the day, money and bills are still a thing, so I do gotta work. So if there's anyone that's willing to help me with, gym memberships, supplements, any of those little things, even if it's just a small contribution, I'm very thankful, and I will tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart as many times as I can. This is
That's
very helpful, and I
that's awesome. Well, we're excited to promote you and keep with you on your journey. And we love your heart and your enthusiasm and your dedication. And I think you're an example for any young athlete. So that's exciting. I have one question. Like, what is? I know you're obviously you spar with some people that have been in the sport a long time. What do you think the main difference if you get in and you're sparring with someone who's a professional now? Like, what do you think? Like, how does that feel versus like another amateur that might be in your same skill level or same age? What's that like?
I would definitely say there you can tell when you're fighting a professional, when you're fighting, they've seen everything that you could possibly throw at them, and whatever weakness that you have, they will exploit your physical strength, your mindset. I mean, I don't know how many times, Safe has told me, like, "I saw you break." But because of these people that I spar with on a regular basis, I get to those weak points as much as possible. So when I'm in the ring, it doesn't it doesn't affect me in any way. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on the tape, but she hit me really hard. I had a nosebleed, but because I've gotten a nosebleed in the back because Sam clocked me, I didn't react to it because I felt it before.
Yeah.
So having the chance to go with women, especially women that I'm gonna be fighting eventually, like at that level, at such an early age and so often, I'm getting entrenched in that experience and in that brutality
Yeah.
often. So I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times I told my parents, they're like, "Are you ready for this?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, but Macy has hit me as hard as she possibly can. There is no one on this earth that can harder than that woman. If I can still stay standing on my feet after that, I don't think anyone else can hurt me."
That's awesome. Well, we're really excited for you, and like I said, you're definitely you're the type of person we like at Salty MF, independent, gritty, tough, and just very articulate and smart about what you're doing. So we're excited to have you, and sponsor you, and continue to promote you and be with you. So in closing, do you have anything else you'd like to say? This is about you. You're our athlete spotlight for this, so you say whatever you want as long as you want. Here you go.
I just want to also say thank you before I give my message. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. As a young athlete, I very much appreciate your time, energy, and very, very grateful because it didn't happen. Second, I also want to thank my very, very first sponsor, Redefine Violence. They took a chance on me when I had no skill. If you go back and watch the videos, it's kind of cringy. So for them to have taken a chance on someone who just had passion and a dream, I very, very much appreciate you guys. Loyal to you till the end. Right there.
That's awesome.
And to all of my family members, all of my friends and coworkers who all have helped me and supported me along on the I will remember that till the day I get to tell you that as often as possible. Never get me to that. And lastly, with my journey and my eventual platform that I plan on building, I want to tell all of the young women out there that you can do anything. I'm not even just saying just young women, but young kids in general. Do not let anyone tell you that you have to do something or you have to do a certain career path. Follow your dreams and follow your goals because you only get one life to live it, and you will regret it for the rest of your life if you didn't try. Because if you at least tried and you failed, at least you knew that you tried. But don't live the rest of your life regretting what you did.
Well, I think that's a pretty good message for everyone. That even happens when you're older, and I think people take failure wrong sometimes. Everything's kind. And I'm not one of these softy people that everyone gets a trophy kind of guy, but the reality of it is, life. You lose a fight, big deal.
Yeah.
You lose a game, big deal. It's part of your growing process. It's whatever. It's really whether you really want to continue it.
Yes.
If you're judging your life on how many times you lost or you fell down, you're. I hate to break it to you, but whatever you get into, maybe I don't know what you are. Maybe you're fixing cars, whatever you're doing, you're still going to have shitty days and stuff that you're not going to want to get up. So make sure if you're still having shitty days that you're coming back to something you want to do. So, that's my old man philosophy.
I got so close with this, but to me, failure is not a bad thing. Failure is just avoiding to grow. I like failing. That- Okay, great. You're not good. At that. Now you have an opportunity to know that.
That's awesome. Yeah. You are an awesome person, and not only a great athlete, but a lovely person, lovely young woman. You're going to be successful, and we'll be with you. So, folks, get out there and follow Sydney in her journey and what she's doing. Where could everyone find you, Sydney? We didn't say that, so tell them where to follow you. And
So I have two major social platforms. I have my Instagram. That's going to be Sydney Hlebik, Hlebik. Boy, it's weird. It's also going to be the same thing for my TikTok handle. So those are going to be the two platforms. whenever I post, you'll find me in the cage.
That's awesome. Well, you heard him. So, Salty Nation, get out there and do it. That's all today for Salty's Fight Talk. We talked to Sydney High. Check her out. MMA up and coming star. She's going to be amazing. And she's one salty young lady. So stay tuned. That's all.
You are listening to Salty's Fight Talk, hosted by the Big Sexier. Stay frosty, fight fans.